Hi there, this is Neil McGee with the UVA School of Data Science. I'd like to show you how to sign up for a free MongoDB Atlas account and database cluster. Atlas is a service that MongoDB provides to enterprise customers as well as individuals. You can pay for large clusters, you can scale them, you can set up all sorts of automation so that MongoDB, the company themselves, they manage everything for you behind the scenes and you just sort of use it as a service. But they also have a free tier, and so MongoDB Atlas is one of the best ways you can sort of get your hands dirty trying and experimenting with MongoDB without worrying about setting up the database itself. It just kind of lets you work with it as a data consumer. So the best way to do this is actually to sign in. I'm using Chrome now, which I don't usually use, and I'm signed into my Google account, which is a great way to use a single sign-on. So I'm just going to use Google as a way to create my account in Atlas. So what I want you to do is Google for MongoDB Atlas. And the first choice is sort of a sales pitch slide. The second one right now, at least here on the 9th of April, 2024, the second link says MongoDB Cloud Atlas Register. And so that's what we want. We want to click on that link and you'll get to a page like this. Now you're welcome to sign up and fill out the form and create a password if you want. I think less passwords is better. So I'm going to sign up with Google. Click there. It's then going to pass me to my GitHub OAuth page. And I'm going to use this account that's never been to Atlas before. Here I'm going to have to do a verification code, so we'll do that. And it's texting me. Here we go. 451-656. How about if I type correctly? 451-656. Read correctly, but not typed. Now, it will ask you to confirm, sign into that. I say continue. And it's now provisioning my account. And anytime I want to sign in, I could just use my Google account to sign in again. So you accept the terms here. And basically, Atlas is going to set up an organization for me. It's then going to set up a default project for me. And it's then going to help walk me through setting up a default cluster. And in the free tier, you can only have one cluster. And I think you can maybe only have one project at a time, but that doesn't matter. So what's your primary goal? I want to learn MongoDB. Have you been developing? How long? Let's say never. What programming language? Let's say Python. That's good. What types of data? Goodness. We can just make a few of these. Doesn't matter. And will include any of these models? You can skip that. Well, I guess it wants an answer of some kind. So just give it something. And so now it comes up to say deploy your database. Here's an M10, which has got 10 gigs of storage, 2 gigs of memory, and some CPUs. Here's serverless. 10 cents per every million reads. So this is kind of nice. This is auto-scaling as a service. It's comparable to AWS Lambda in terms of a database that just sort of, you're charged only when you use it. That's a pretty nice option. And then M0 is the free tier. That's what we want. So we'll select that. 512 megs of storage. We share our memory. We share our CPU. So this is a way of squeezing all these free users into a kind of limited environment. And then they'll ask us to name the cluster. Cluster 0 is absolutely fine. I can tag this if I want to. I can say, yep, give me some free data, set up the security automatically. AWS would be fine. We're not going to really use that here. Create deployment. And so now at this point, this is a good moment to take a screenshot of my instructions, and they've given me a default username in McGee and a default password. This looks good to me, so I'm going to capture that, and I could add I could add a second user if I want to and assign it a username and so on. So that's fine. Choose a connection. Oh, Okay, so I have to say create that. You have to click there. This always changes, by the way. So we created the user. My current IP address has been added. Now I'll choose a connection method. And I might just say MongoDB Compass is good. Yeah, I'll go ahead and just start downloading MongoDB Compass. That's a GUI that I can use to speak to Mongo, so that's fine. And then I'd like to go ahead and copy this connection string right here. You can copy and paste it into some note app if you want to, or you can write it down. And notice the format here is MongoDB plus SRV, the server for MongoDB. This is like a protocol, / username, / password, @ cluster0.blah, blah, 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 mongodb.net. This is a nice clear connection string. I'm going to go ahead and capture that. I might go back as well, and I might go to a different, if I'd like to use a shell. It will instruct me based on my operating system how to get the MongoDB shell. And so here is on Mac, I can just brew install this. That's great. And then it gives me this new Mongo shell connection string. So that too is useful. So let me copy all of this. And capture that in a screenshot. And then review setup steps. Good, looks great to me. And you can see my sample data set has been loaded in collections, it's called. A database user has been added, that's great. And then notice an IP address has been added to the IP access list. Let's click into that. I'd like to edit that a little bit. And for whatever IP address you get, maybe you're going to be on campus, maybe you're going to be from your apartment or house or wherever. I'd like you to remove everything after the slash, and then of the 4 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, remove the last 2 blocks and just put 0.0/16. So I'm going to say 216.126.00/16. So it's the last bit that I want you to mark there. And I'm just going to say Neil's home office. And this just opens up the range a bit more in case I get assigned a different IP address here at the house. So I'll confirm that, but then I'm going to add some IP addresses. And this is helpful if you're around UVA much. So I want you to put 128.143.0.0/16, and we'll call that UVA block 1. Okay. What's nice is you can actually add temporary entries that will expire after a certain amount of time. That's pretty handy. So I'm going to add that one block, and I'm going to add, let's see, 199.111. .0.0/16. And that's one of the other primary blocks at UVA. So this means I have 3 address blocks. And this is networking rules that you really don't have to worry about all that often. This 216.126 address is my home, 199.111, and 128.143. These are 2 of the primary UVA blocks that we connect to the internet through the Wi-Fi at UVA. So that looks good. And so now I've kind of tweaked my network access for Project 0. And notice here's my organization, Neil's org, and it gives the date. And then my project here is called Project 0. I can now click to database, and you'll see, again, here's a sales pitch for Atlas Vector Search. Vector databases are all the rage. And now you can see that I have basic status on my cluster. The cluster is active with the little green dot there. I can view the monitoring. I can browse the collections. This is helpful. I can see here's the sample mflix, and here's an object, and a whole series of objects. I'll get rid of this. John Bishop, fake at Gmail, some Latin for the text. And so this is just all kind of just mock data that I could work with. I can go back to overview. I can see this is in 3 regions at the same time. It's only using 118 megs of actual storage. That's great. I can always upgrade the size and so on. And we'll get more into this in class, but this is how you set up a basic sandbox for free in MongoDB Atlas. I'd like you to go ahead and perform these steps. Go ahead and have your connection strings, both for the Mongo shell and for Mongo Compass, just like I did, and then we'll work with these in class. Thanks so much.